Welcome to the Wackcast, a satirical look at today's modern American society. Today's episode is called Non-Binary, Gender-Specific Hurricanes. But before we get into it, we'll have a word from our sponsor, Tito's Taco Truck. Hey, does this sound like a taco commercial to you, Bato? No, primo. It sounds like a salad commercial. Aita! At Tito's Taco Truck, we're progressive. We love those millennials. También? Know what I'm saying? We now have a gluten-free pozole. For those Mexicans out there who can't eat without taking a caca every 5 minutes. También? It will make you say chingon. Find us at the corner of 12th and 8th in Midland. If not, if we ain't there, you just drive around and look for us at Tito's Taco Truck. Alright, folks, make sure you do me a favor and go visit Tito and his taco truck. He drives a lot around Midland. It's not typically in one spot very many times because his truck isn't registered, folks. So you gotta catch him, but they're really good. So, back on subject, what did the hurricane say to the coconut tree? Hold on to your nuts, because this ain't no regular blowjob. That's right, it's hurricane season, folks. It's time to take out that phone and mark yourself safe on Facebook. Even if you're 400 miles away from the hurricane, or not even in the path, mark yourself safe, alright? I wonder, it makes you wonder, if the National Weather Service, given today's modern age, has decided to get progressive and decided to change the name from hurricane, being indicative of a female, to changing it to hurricanes. Alright, so hurricanes, they're tropical cyclones with wind speeds of 70 miles per hour or greater, which typically occur in the western Atlantic Ocean. They're usually accompanied by rain, thunder, and lightning. Sometimes hurricanes are associated with edgy Facebook jokes that people post, such as, what does a hurricane and a woman have in common? When they come, they're all wild and wet, but when they leave, they take your house and your car. Honestly, to make that joke more realistic, I would omit the first part and change the punchline to the ooh. When they leave, they take your house and car. Why? Because Dr. Drew on Loveline, he said the average female cannot have an orgasm through normal sex. That's right. Alright, so enough with hurricanes. Let's talk about typhoons, folks. It's sucky fucky time in Asia. Typhoons are the exact same as a hurricane, except they are located in Asia, in the Pacific Northwest, like Japan, Thailand, all that good stuff. Thailand and China. So it sucks up the water from the ocean and it fucks every straw hut in Thailand. Can you imagine a bunch of Thai lady boys getting sucked up into the hurricane? They could make a movie out of it. They would call it Thai Hornado. Kind of like Sharknado. But it's gay, folks. It's gay. Alright. Break out the antidepressants. It's time to learn about tropical depressions. It's not a storm that has been diagnosed, but with clinical depression by meteorologists. I mean, what do they know about psychology? They have degrees in weather. It's a storm that has winds less than 39 miles per hour, okay? Now, the government, they have stepped in and decided to step up their efforts to control the weather, like cloud seeding and stuff like that. So whenever they have a tropical depression, I heard they fly into the tropical depression and seed it with Zoloft. Alright, so a lot of us we want to know, how did hurricanes get their names? Do the meteorologists, do they go down to Barnes & Noble and pick out a book with baby names in it? No. In the 1950s, the Hurricane Center started giving them names to aid in keeping track of the storms. They used to use the phonetic alphabet, which the military uses and cops use it, stuff like that. So that means that a storm would be A, okay? And the phonetic alphabet, it would be called Alpha, and then B for Bravo, Charlie for Delta, so on and so forth. So a lot of people, they did a lot better in school, than most people. So they didn't wind up in the military or they didn't wind up as a cop. You know why? Because they weren't the lower 10% of their graduation class. So these civilians that went to college, they couldn't understand that. So they couldn't grasp the system. So in 1953, a meteorologist that was in the doghouse at home with his wife decided to start naming hurricanes after women. Think about it. Because a man left up the toilet seat at his house, he changed history. So eventually, due to women's rights movement in 1979, the system has changed to what it is that we know of it today. Okay, a mixture of both male and female names. Think about it. There's a lot of guys out there that can be a bitch too. So this year in 2019, here are some of the notable names that are on there. So you have Nestor, as in Nestor the Molester, and then there's Chantel, which that sounds like a angry black woman that's going to go fuck up the ghetto down in Florida or something. And then you have Imelda. Sounds Italian, like an Italian person saying, as in, Imelda your car to the side of the house. And then you have Karen, right? Karen, everybody's seen the meme, the lady that wants to speak to your manager. So it's a hurricane that wants to speak to your manager. And then you have Barry, as in Barry White, a tall black storm that will be all up in your girl's ass, folks. And then finally, you have Pablo. If it makes it all the way to the Peace, you got Pablo. This hurricane, it can move across borders without being stopped by Homeland Security. Alright, I believe in taking hurricanes seriously. And the names they pick out, they don't drive the point across to our folks to seek shelter or evacuate, all right? It's time to give these storms names they deserve to encourage our citizens to seek shelter. How about the Coast Fucker 9000 or Hurricane RuPaul? Picture the news. Hurricane RuPaul is heading straight towards San Francisco and is fucking everything in sight. Alright, so once the hurricane's all said and done, what do we do after hurricanes, folks? We rescue the dogs. Alright, get ready to see your Twitter and Facebook fill up with videos of people rescuing dogs. Putting those videos of people being rescued on the back burner. Totally by the amount of likes and shares. People want to know what happens to those dogs. I get it. All right, they have the mindset. The Red Cross will help the people, or FEMA will, but who's gonna help the dogs? Oh, that guy right there, he's so brave. All right, so get ready and get your FEMA debit cards. Right, FEMA issues these cards to people who are living in shelter and they do not have a means to identify their property damage, or unable to provide necessary documentation. So if you don't have insurance and you tell FEMA that you own the Mona Lisa, but you can't prove it because it might be in some art gallery in France, right? But if you can't prove it, you'll automatically be given $2,000 to assist you and your family. Couldn't afford those Jordans before? Or maybe some sweet rims for your car. Get your cards. As noted in many FEMA waste and abuse studies. Don't worry, you'll get your basic needs met because the Salvation Army will give you food and shelter. According to the Los Angeles Times, scamming FEMA is widely known and openly discussed. Just take it from Tanisha Williams, a single mother of 3 and a tenant of the Imperial Courts Public Housing Development in Watts. Definitely not the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She quoted the Los Angeles Times. All you gotta do is say something is damaged. It's free money. I thought about telling them I had a broken heart. Maybe the 2000 might take away the sting a little bit, but they told me no. But can't blame a guy for trying. That Tanisha chick, I remember her being on the Maury Povich show, trying to find out who the paternity of her kid was. You should have heard the slew of obscenities coming from that woman's mouth. I have the tape right here, folks. I'm going to go ahead and play it. Alright, enough. Okay, folks, calm down. Enough. Alright, welcome back to the Maury Show. This week, we brought Tanisha back on here with us, and we're going to go ahead and read those results. Alright, so, in the case of little Tamika, Leroy, you are not the father. Well, join us next week when we're going to go ahead and test me to see if I'm the kid's father. Thank you. Good night. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the Wackcast. See you guys next week.